Hi, I'm going to be showing you a super quick demo of how you might migrate a custom Notes application using Quest's Notes Migrator for SharePoint product. So I'm starting in the migration console, and here we've done a basic discovery of all the databases in my organization. So this is good for an analysis project, and it includes usage information, data complexity information, design complexity information, and so on. So I'm going to select one of my databases. The Propulsion Development Tracking Database. And if this were a standard database, I would be able to just run one of the pre-built migration jobs immediately, and you can migrate hundreds of applications in large batches that way. Or since this is a one-off database, I'm going to go to the Migration Jobs tab in the database properties, and I'm just going to create a new migration job on the fly. So I'm going to create a source data definition that describes how I'm querying the data out of Notes. And let's do the selection based on the form used. And let's pick the report form, one of the forms in this application. On the Data Fields tab, I can select columns in different ways. In this case, I'll just select the fields that were on this report form. And now I've defined a query, and I could preview that and customize that if I wanted to. I could do things like put in formulas to massage data along the way. But in this case, I'll just take all the defaults, and I'll go to the SharePoint tab, and I will create a new list, and I will create a new list on an existing SharePoint site. So let's select that site, and I'll call this test dev tracking, and I'll create a new list and add it to the quick launch area. And I'll create a target data definition, and this is the description of how the columns will get written out in this new SharePoint list. So I'll go to my Data Fields tab, and to save time, I'm just going to load from source field. So this is going to copy the schema of my Notes application over into a new SharePoint custom list. And again, I could customize things. I could decide the area. I want to call this product area, and let's make this be a choice field and automatically populate all the choice values from the actual data. And I could similarly customize all my other columns if I wanted to. I'll just take the defaults for the rest of them. I'm going to automatically map one to the other, so area in Notes will be mapped to product area in SharePoint, and so on. I'm going to preserve the metadata, the created modified by identities and dates. So if it says that Steve created this in 2007, it should still say that on the SharePoint side. And in security, I can map security at the list level, at the site level, or all the way down to the document level. And now I'll go ahead and run that job. So we're provisioning a new list on this SharePoint site based on the schema that we extracted out of Notes. And then we're migrating some documents. So while we're still migrating a few documents, I'm going to go to this list immediately. And so if I edit one of these documents, you can see that we've migrated a nice looking document with a rich text field, including embedded images, possibly attachments or doc links, and all these other fields which came out of the Notes schema of that custom application. If I edit this item, I can see that we have fields of different types, and in fact we created that product area field and provisioned it as a choice field with all the legal choices that came out of the actual Notes database. So that's a very basic content migration with no bells and whistles. And I showed you the migration of application content, rich text, custom data, so on. If I wanted to, I could continue this process and start migrating the application design to bring over the original Notes form or some of the original Notes views. And we could look at migrating to different targets, not just list items, but to pages, libraries. We could generate Word documents, PDF documents, or migrate to SQL Server. Now, like I said in the beginning, the analysis portion is free, and you can go to quest.com/notesanalysis and download our analysis tool and scan your environment and start doing some test migrations.